What's up, air signs? This one's for you. Going to be doing an energy reading for this week. So if you're curious what might be going on, stick around. We're about to get into it. All right. So I'm going to start with the Citadel deck per usual. I hope y'all are doing well. Having a good day so far. See what type of archetype you're in right now. Hello? Too many cards. Man, okay. Maybe you're a little, I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. All right, I guess we just got to be patient. There we go. The Archer, biding your time, planning ahead. Oh my God, biding your time. And yeah, so patience. That's crazy. Okay, so let's read this page. I just flipped right to it. That is crazy. Okay, already starting off very synchronistic. Okay. Others around you may have targets full of arrows, but you know how long you need to aim true. Your own pace can't be measured against that of others, and your worth is not dictated by anyone but yourself. Don't let doubt make you falter. Take your time. Your arrows will fly true when they're good and ready. Dang it, I have to pause right now. That's crazy. Wow, this is really interesting. I don't know. I had to pause because I had to go handle a couple things. So yeah, there definitely is this like patience energy coming through already off the bat in this reading. And especially, with like me flipping right to the page, there's a preciseness. So if you're feeling like pressure to make a decision or, pressure to figure out what you want and all these things from outside sources, not within you, maybe this is a sign for you of like needing to really cut the noise and focus on what you're trying to do and trusting your process and your timing and your intuition of knowing exactly when the divine time is right. So yeah, definitely off the bat, a lot of messages regarding that coming through. So let's see what's going on. But yeah, you're welcome to skip ahead if you don't like to see the cards come out. Oh, wow. Yeah, hold on. God. What? This happened with the earth signs too. This is crazy. Or was it the fire signs? I don't even remember. One of them. That's crazy. Okay. What the fuck? This is kind of crazy. I don't know. There's a lot of synchronicities just coming in based on like the placement of this. I don't know. It's hard for me to explain sometimes, but with the Ace of Swords starting off, I do feel like you are figuring out which voice is yours inside. I feel like you're finding your truth, your authenticity, and really going for that. You're aiming towards that, with the way that these cards are set up on my table. It's like this is aiming at the swords. So I definitely feel like you are trying to find what's authentic to you, and that does involve cutting out a lot of noise from other people. I definitely feel like maybe you've been led astray in the past, and I do feel like in this next era you're not trying to make that same decision, right? I do feel like something left you feeling fucked up and you were like, we're not doing that again. We're going to go a different route and we're going to trust ourselves this time and nobody else. So I do feel like there's a lot being illuminated about your shadow side and where things may have kept you down before. But this is all about balance, right? So with the moon coming in as well, I definitely feel like you're figuring out, you know, what is your light side, your shadow side, and what keeps you locked down when it comes to those, which, because you can get lost in either one, right? You can be too much in the light, which can lead to ego and pretentiousness and that kind of thing. And so, you know, there are people who are too much in the shadow where they're, you know, not bringing illumination to those things that need to be seen, you know, very much keeping things in the dark, hiding, shame, those kinds of things. So you can really get lost in both. So I feel like you're seeing that play out and understanding where you can get caught up in the light and where you can get caught up in the dark, you know, because they both have their pros and cons. You know, every situation has a light and a dark side. That's the nature of this earth, because we have a shadow. If you stand in the light, a shadow is cast. It's just the nature, unless you're like directly under the sun where it's like, but even then you can still see a little bit of shadow underneath your shoes, right? It's still there. So just that kind of shit is coming through, and learning how to balance both of them, how to take what works, right, and figure out your best. You know, it's not about what's right, it's about what's your version of best, what's your rich, what's your version of fulfillment, right? These things. And I feel like you really found something in there. You really found an opportunity for a lot of growth, I'm seeing, you know, for these next few cards. But when I tell you that, I fucking mean it. So the reason I tripped out when these came out, one, they came out back to back, right? Which is already crazy. And next, this same thing happened with either the fire signs or the earth. I can't remember which, but where it was the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords. So I'm just like blown away by that. But anyways, in the same exact spot, mind you. I wish you guys could see this. You know, I need a camera that goes above, but I ain't there yet. But anyways, yeah, so there's a lot of opportunity for growth with these two, because you're listening to your intuition when it comes to your growing opportunities, and also taking the action that's needed, you know, and this is divinely led. So you really took that opportunity and you ran with it, and you said, oh, I see the problem. I see the culprit, you know, and I know what I need to do. And it's put that bitch to rest. We are putting our pain to rest. And I actually said that in the Earth sign reading. What the fuck? That's crazy. There's so many synchronicities, and like, you know, when I group the signs like this, I really see it. I see the patterns so much, and like how we're learning the same things just in different areas of our lives. So yeah, it's just crazy. But anyways, let me stop with, you know, I'm just freaking out because it's just crazy. I love that kind of stuff. So anyways, you're putting an end to your pain and your heartbreak, and you're moving forward finally. You're putting it to rest, and you're healing. You're entering your healing era and really seeing all of the beautiful growing opportunities that can come after you've healed, and how you can like really further this into, you know, using that healing water to fuel your next growing cycle, right? It's like, how can you go wrong when you're, you know, watering your plant with like the purest water ever? You know what I mean? It's like you're watering that plant in your heart space, because what was there in your heart space was a bunch of fucking swords hurting you. So now it's time to put something in there that nurtures your heart. And I feel like you're doing that. You're finding the things that work for you, and you're embarking on this new path. And this card really, I'm trying to figure out how to view this card, this next card. It's like the wrench in there. Like, you know, when they say like somebody throw a wrench in it. Let me pull a card based on this card. I need a little bit more. This is interesting. Okay. What was the card that fell? Because I feel like that's the card that I needed. Where'd it go? Learning. Okay, so maybe you're figuring out how to learn from even when you might have been, not in your best self, or maybe when other people were treating you wrong, like learning from these things. Because this to me is the card of deception, but I know there is a positive spin on it that I've heard from other people where it's like getting, hold on. Right. Okay. So the good tarot is the one I'm pulling out because I don't feel like this is the negative spin on this card, which is deception, right? I don't feel like that fits here at all. So I do feel like it is this, where it's like independence, nonconformity, living life on one's own terms without people pleasing. Now is the time for me to live life on my own terms. So I must find the courage to reject conformity, which is exactly what we were talking about with the Archer and saying like, I'm no longer living for other people or doing what other people think I should do. I'm doing what I got to do for myself. And I know that this visual does not say that. This visual is very sneaky looking, but I don't think that it's that. I think you're seeing the other side of it. I think you're seeing a different opportunity within that same energy. Does that make sense? But yeah, you're ending a cycle of maybe old deceiving, behavior within yourself. There's a few different ways you could see that, but yeah, I do believe like the non-conformity and non-people pleasing, because I literally had a conversation about that with somebody else today. So I do feel like that is a huge message there. And I do think like in regards to how you're moving forward, you're going to need to change your perspective on some things. So, there's a lot of things that are shifting and changing and new ways of seeing old things coming up. Maybe you're looking back on those old wounds, and thinking differently about them. Maybe you're seeing things differently, and that's what's changing. That's what's really, sending you through to end this cycle, is your ability to change your perspective on the fucked up shit that's happened to you. Oh, I really feel like that was it. Yeah. And we're ending with the King of Cups saying you're able to stay strong and find your stability even through these ups and downs emotionally, even through, this healing process that you've had to go through, and hanging out with, your devil side. That's not easy. That's hard. It's not easy to sit down with somebody like this fucking ugly, right? So it's not fun to see that side of ourselves, but when you face it and don't run from it and stop doing things for other people, you really reach an authentic place within you that nobody can fuck with. Seriously. All right, so let's keep going. Man, yeah, it was interesting. And sometimes you get stuck on certain things. Like sometimes I'll see a card and I'm like, yep, I got to focus on this extra, and it's the same in your life. Maybe you got to, oh my God, that is so crazy. This card came out for the other reading and I was literally referencing this in my head. It's time to put this to rest. This is the card I was thinking about. Rest and recuperation. Like really, getting back to that meditative state and like not putting yourself in these frames of mind that are old. These are old narratives that you're replaying. It's time to put that to rest. You're no longer in that space anymore. You're now in a place of healing. High Priestess, trusting your intuition, trusting your gut that tells you now's the time. Like now you release the arrow. You know what I mean? That is something only you can tell you. When you're waiting to hear it from outside of you, you lose focus on what you're aiming towards. You're so busy. Where's the sign? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? You just missed it. You gotta go for it. You gotta listen to yourself and trust your gut. Hermit, yeah. Only you can figure that out. And you got to go within, you got to listen to yourself, you got to stop hanging out with so many people, and really, like when I'm going through it, I don't like to hang out with a bunch of people because I need to hear my inner voice at that time the most. I don't got time to hear what other people's opinions are. there is a time for that, but sometimes you got to realize, okay, now is not the time that I need to be hanging out with a bunch of people. I need to be focusing on me. And 10 of air at the bottom. Endings clear way for new beginnings. Wow. This is crazy. And you notice all the blue here? Healing energy. And then the root with this brown. So, yeah. Strength, the Fool, and the Hierophant all together. That's crazy. Yeah, let's keep going. A time to give rather than take. And I always say, this is a time to give to yourself rather than take from yourself. I definitely feel like there's a need to focus on you and focus on nourishment and not get so caught up in outside shit, you know? Hold your vision. Hold your vision. You know what you're aiming for. Don't let other people start doubting you. But your dreams need a practical plan. So you got to think about the realistic ways you can get there. And you won't find out unless you meditate and contemplate. So, you know, let's get a closing guidance message. Wow. I saw that card. Go after your goals? Are you freaking kidding me? That's exactly what we're talking about right now. Go after your goals. What are you waiting for? Answer the call. You're being called towards something. There's some serious warrior energy coming through right here with the Vikings and the whatever this guy is, a soldier. You know, there's some serious warrior energy. There's a lot of strength that comes with only listening to your inner guidance and your spirit team. You know, that takes a lot of courage and guts. So go for it with like this unbreakable strength. Like channel the energy of these types of people that are just jumping into this battle. They don't know. They're on the seas. They don't know where the fuck they're going, but they're so confident. They're like, we're going to find it. Whatever the fuck they're looking for. They're like, we're going to find it, you know? And he's like, we're going to do this shit. Like, look at the stances. Confidence. Trust. Y'all see what I'm saying here? All right, air signs. This was interesting. Thank you so much for joining me here today. If you're interested in more content from me, check out the description box below. You can find my Patreon and my personal private reading down there. And you're able to, oh no, I don't know where I was going with that. If this resonated for you, please leave me a comment or like or subscribe if you're interested in my content. I really appreciate you being here and hope you have a great week. Bye.